Welcome, brave souls, to a journey through the darkest corners of the internet and the human imagination. Tonight we uncover 4 of the most chilling creepypastas ever told. From the haunting grin of the smiling man to the endless terror of the no-end house, these stories have sent shivers down countless spines and blurred the line between fiction and reality. Are you ready to confront the shadows that dwell in these twisted tales? Make sure your lights are on or don't. Let's begin. It was late, past midnight, and the streets were eerily deserted. The only sound was the faint echo of my own footsteps as I made my way home. The city had a strange stillness, the kind that makes you feel like you're being watched, even when you're alone. As I walked down the dimly lit street, I saw him. At first, he was just a silhouette under a flickering street lamp, barely noticeable. But something about his posture caught my attention. He stood unnaturally tall, his shoulders slightly hunched, his arms hanging loosely by his sides. He wasn't moving, just standing there, facing me. I tried to shake off the unease and kept walking, but as I got closer, he began to move. His steps were strange, almost exaggerated, as if he were performing for an invisible audience. His gait was unnatural, like a marionette with its strings pulled too tight. Then I saw his face. It was stretched into the widest smile I'd ever seen. Impossibly wide, as though his mouth had been carved to reach his ears. His teeth gleamed in the faint light, and his eyes were locked onto me, unblinking, piercing. My heart pounded, but I forced myself to keep walking, hoping he'd pass me by. He didn't. Instead, he began to move faster, his steps turning into an almost playful dance. His arms swung with an unsettling rhythm, his head tilting from side to side. It was like he was mocking me, daring me to react. Finally, he stopped, just a few feet away from me. His head tilted sharply, like a curious animal, and he whispered, "Isn't it a lovely night?" His voice was soft but chilling, each word dripping with malice. Before I could respond, he burst into laughter, a high-pitched, eerie sound that echoed through the empty streets. My body acted before my mind could catch up. I ran. I didn't look back, didn't stop until I reached the safety of my apartment. Even now, I wonder who, or what, he was. A prankster, a madman, or something else entirely. All I know is that his face, that unnerving smile, still haunts my dreams. No End House is a tale of terror centered around an enigmatic haunted house that offers $500 to anyone who can complete its 9 rooms. At first glance, it seems like a typical haunted attraction, but those who dare to enter soon realize it's anything but ordinary. The house is unmarked, with no address or advertisements, only whispered rumors leading thrill-seekers to its doorstep. Participants are greeted with a simple warning: not all who enter leave. The challenge seems straightforward: navigate 9 increasingly terrifying rooms and claim your reward. The first few rooms are eerie but manageable, filled with dim lighting, unsettling mannequins, and disembodied whispers. But as participants progress, the house begins to change, bending reality in ways that defy explanation. In one room, time seems to stop, the air thick with a suffocating stillness. In another, loved ones appear, pleading for help, only to dissolve into shadows when approached. By the 7th room, most people beg to leave, but the house doesn't let them. The walls shift, closing in, and doors vanish, forcing them to face their deepest fears. Survivors describe encounters with entities that feel disturbingly personal, manifestations of their guilt, regrets, or worst nightmares. The final rooms are said to be impossible to describe, as if they exist outside human comprehension. Those who make it to the 9th room and escape are never the same. They speak of hearing the house's whispers in their dreams, of feeling its pull whenever they pass an abandoned building. The $500 prize becomes meaningless compared to the psychological scars they carry. No End House is more than a haunted attraction. It's a living entity, feeding off fear and suffering. Some believe it's a gateway to another dimension, while others think it's a test of one's soul. Whatever its true nature, one thing is certain: once you enter, there's no guarantee you'll ever leave. The Slender Man, a figure of modern folklore, emerged from the darkest corners of the internet. A faceless, tall entity with unnaturally long limbs, clad in a black suit. Though his origins trace back to an online forum in 2009, his legend has taken on a life of its own, spreading fear worldwide. The Slender Man is said to lurk in shadowy forests, his elongated form blending seamlessly with the trees. He doesn't chase or hunt his victims in the traditional sense. Instead, he stalks them from the edges of their vision, his presence creating an oppressive dread that grows with every sighting. Those who see him often report strange dreams, paranoia, and even physical sickness. One of the most chilling aspects of his legend is his ability to manipulate children. It's said he lures them into the woods, never to be seen again. The reasons for his actions remain a mystery. Does he consume their souls? Or is he simply a sadistic being, feeding off fear and despair? Stories of the Slender Man abound, each one more unsettling than the last. In one tale, a group of campers ventured into a dense forest known for its eerie legends. They began to notice strange occurrences, missing supplies, distorted whispers at night, and shadowy figures in the distance. One by one, they disappeared, their final moments marked by glimpses of an impossibly tall figure, silently watching. In another account, a young girl became obsessed with drawings of the Slender Man, filling her notebook with sketches of his towering form. Her family thought it was a harmless phase until she began talking to someone who wasn't there. She claimed he wanted her to come with him, to join his world. One night, she vanished, her bedroom window left open, her notebook lying on the floor with a single phrase scrawled repeatedly, "He is near." The Slender Man legend has blurred the lines between fiction and reality. Some claim it's a modern myth, a product of collective imagination fueled by fear. But others believe there's truth behind the stories, that something ancient and malevolent has found a new way to manifest. Whether real or imagined, one thing is certain: the Slender Man remains an enduring symbol of humanity's primal fear of the unknown. Ben Drowned is a legend born from the digital age, blending nostalgia and terror into a chilling tale of a cursed video game cartridge. The story begins with a college student who purchased a used Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask cartridge from a mysterious old man at a yard sale. The cartridge had no label, just the word Ben scrawled across it in faded marker. Excited to revisit a beloved childhood game, the student loaded it up, but immediately something felt off. The title screen flickered and the save files were corrupted. Among them was one named BEN. Dismissing it as a glitch, he started a new game, but strange things began to happen. Characters referred to him as Ben, even after he deleted the file. The music was distorted and the world felt empty, with NPCs behaving erratically or staring blankly. As he progressed, the glitches turned sinister. His character would spontaneously burst into flames, drown inexplicably, or be followed by eerie laughter. The most disturbing moment came when he encountered a statue of Link with hollow eyes and a haunting grin. No matter where he went, the statue followed, appearing unexpectedly and watching him. He tried to turn off the game, but the console seemed possessed, powering itself back on with the words, "You shouldn't have done that," flashing on the screen. As the days passed, the game's malevolence seeped into his life. He began having nightmares of drowning, his room filled with whispers of the name Ben. His computer acted strangely, files deleting themselves, and messages appeared seemingly typed by an unseen force. "You can't escape me." Ben Drowned has become one of the most infamous creepypastas, embodying the unease of corrupted childhood memories and the fear of technology turning against us. Whether it's merely an elaborate hoax or a true account of a cursed cartridge, the story has left an indelible mark on the internet's collective consciousness. These stories remind us that fear is universal, whether it's rooted in a haunting figure or the mysteries of a cursed game. But the real question is, are they just stories? Or is there some truth lurking in the darkness? Let us know in the comments which tale chilled you the most, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.